Piceresque. There's a movement in the bushes.
A man is trapped in those rushes.
He is snared in a web of promises that weigh him down by wishes, for he always puts things off the row, as one who ever waits for tomorrow.
Look at this page, man, a quatrain in my hand.
The web is collapsing, freeing the man.
There is writing on the ground under his feet of words very sound. They read now, in big letters round.
The revelation has hit him like an hourglass, one made of the heaviest welded brass. As a relief of realization washes over him fast, he is muttering to himself,
There is only today, it's the only shelf. Why fret about other days, that tweet, if today can be so very sweet? Hear, hear! Stretching my present road a distant calendar column, so by all my tenuously made vows is what created the complicated web of promises in the first place bred, a trap that has taken away all my nows. Now is the time, I'm sure. I must seize the moment's shore or lose its momentum forevermore. The man is running off, seemingly weightless, flying aloft. I declare we, the he and she, as the harmonic subjects of this new story, must yet wander ever onward, past the path of worry. Love is in the air, filling the voided space with glory. Never wait, it ever wrinkles the brow. The only real time under our feet is now. These lovely moments rife are giving me the time of my life. I savor each one, its treat, and then comes another just as sweet.
Lo, the woods are growing dense, filling with mist and shadowed goods.
What's that fuss behind us?
An old witch has just sprung up to our rear, she being the specter of fear, and of all that is worrisome here.
The witch asks, "What is your deepest fear?"
We don't answer.
The witch continues, "Do I ask of the air? Hell, death, which shall it be? How about heaven?"
Is that it? All three? I banish you, for death is merely the natural end of all living things of nature's blend. What has no death has no life principle. My turn to live would never have come about, to ripple, if it were not for the deaths before of people. As for heavens and hells, those are what we create within ourselves, as we can turn our souls outside in to create a heaven or hell from within. Hell surely arrives when we make our own difficulties in life's wake, when we our common sense forsake. However, I do have one fear that's grown, although just one alone.
What is that fear? The witch pleads. My hopes suddenly rise in pitch, but my form is ready to fade, due to your anxiety unmade.
I'll answer for him as his partner, for I am his opposite twin and can think his thoughts. His one and only fear besought is that of not living well as ought.
So, with that answer furnished, which you, the specter of fear, doth vanish, like the mist cold on the morning wind unrolled.
Our fugal voices can now resume, to hum the two-part Pachelbel canon's words, its soulful music sweeping us onward, upward, inward, and outward, as our voices blend and part, weaving in and out once they start.
When does the rose bloom? I rue, seeking some general botanical clue to the book's mysterious and questionable rule.
The rose blossoms on the summer solstice even, arising from the only kiss that's ever given to the arriving summer from the vanishing spring, the kiss of which spring dies in giving as they sing, I, a rose.
We move on, noting a cemetery, and I say, I love this song, but here's the cemetery's yawn, so cold and abrupt, for here is an empty grave opened up.
Let's jump right into it to better read the marble's script.
A little girl arrives with a withered rose.
Angelina hails. Hi, a little girl with curls.
The little girl states, "Those who live must learn of death told, so that all the better they may breathe as old. Run along now, you two, with ease, before death himself, quite a sight, arrives with his shovel's plight, for you are standing in a grave site. Which of you is ready for his scythe's tooth? Behold my rose as you go forsooth, and take note of my eternal youth, for that which can never die must be forever young and spry."
Angelina says, let's hurriedly continue on to strive, a bit shaken but feeling much more alive.
One must be aware of death espied in order to live life more fully, I surmise.
How then shall we live?
Let us live each day as if it were our last.
I can improve on that. Let us also live each day's sun as if our life had just begun.
May I look again at that living book of philosophy?
I hand it to you softly.
We look at the book, she noting, it has words with matching pictures in it.
Or perhaps it has pictures in it, served with matching words as the counter I counter.
The book replies, I am neither, yet both, for the pictures drawn and the words read offer mutual support, joining together, each reflecting off of the other, thus building and spiraling in the mind's arena into a more complete perception of the ideas. The words appeal at first to the logical kind, the intellectual part of the mind. The pictures appeal at first to the passionate, artistic, and sensual portion of the sensate. The two mind images then merge into the wholeness of truth and beauty converged. The intellect can then sense without the senses sect, while the senses can intellectualize without the intellect.
It's a rather thorough experience.
Enlightened, we give each other a hug and on continue. And someone is chasing it in vain. S1, media, person pointing into the sky, figure pointing in an open field I point. A nightingale is flying by the plane. Look, it's the bird exclaimed.
The winged creature just passed was carrying an hourglass. The bird is evidently one of eternity's livelier moments shunned, one that has resisted or escaped capture, unwon.
A man is running after it, winded, but the bird never lands. It just flies higher and higher and then finally disappears altogether.
The running man tells us, that was my momentary bird of time, I say with rhyme. 'Twas one of eternity's moments as within my grasp. I had indeed seized it, however, I then lapsed, for I then decided to wait to view it at some later time, but in that meanwhile it flew away. The bird steals my time of day, now I'm running after the moment and trying to recapture it this instant. But the bird never lands, I'm spent.
Time flies, it's gone to Never Never Land, an eraser.
The moment is lost, unknown, the bird is flown.
When does the rose bloom? Aru, seeking a general botanical clue to the book's mysterious school, and of our quiz its questionable rule.
The rose blossoms on the summer solstice, arising thus from the only given kiss to arriving summer, from vanishing spring, the kiss of which she must die from giving.
She continues and then sings,
I, a rose.
I love this song, but, a cemetery's yawn, so cold and abrupt, for here is an empty grave, open up.
Let's jump right into it, to better read the marble script.
It reads, the last remembrance, engraved is the end of your earthly side, 6 sides around you, 5 are dirt, 1 is sky, shoveling, death talks to you at last. and cries. What were you doing during all of night?
Hi, a little girl with curls.
Here's a graveyard, I note, I love the song, but, we come upon a cemetery's yawn, unexpected, so cold and so abrupt, and here's an inviting grave, opened up.
With roses on the stone, jump into it, to better read the marbles engraven script.
A little girl arrives, with withered rose, as the messenger of the one that knows, stating,
"Those who live must learn of death told, so all the better they may breathe toward old. Run along now, you two, before, a light, death himself, as quite the corrupted sight, arrives to ply his ending shovel's Clyde, for you are both standing in a grave site. Which of you is ready for the scythe's tooth? Behold my rose as you go, as forsooth, and take note of my dear eternal youth, what can ne'er die must be ere spry and loose."
We hurriedly move on, as to strive, a bit shaken, yet feeling more alive.